am I the a-hole for interfering in the bouquet toss at my girlfriend's sister's wedding? My girlfriend, we'll call her Maggie, and I went to her sister's wedding on Sunday, the 22nd of January. It was a great event, and things were going well for most of the evening. This was the first time I met Maggie's mother, but I had already met the rest of her family. When it came time for the bouquet toss, Maggie was one of the ladies in the group to try and catch it. I thought I had an opportunity to be funny and lift the mood, so I stood behind Maggie and slapped the flowers to the ground before she could catch them. I don't know if she actually would have been the one to catch them, but I did it anyway. I was doing it as a joke, which I thought would be obvious to everyone. I was like 0.0001% serious. I'm not that interested in marriage. I'm in my 20s. I had no bad intentions and wasn't trying to upset anyone. I thought I would get a chuckle from the crowd. After I slapped the bouquet to the floor, there was an audible gasp from everyone around, followed by an awkward silence. I was a little embarrassed, but I laughed anyway to try to non-verbally show everyone that it was a joke. Nobody laughed. After a bit, the moment had passed and everyone was starting a big dinner. Nobody talked to me, and I was getting a couple of sideways glances. Maggie's mother eventually pulled me aside and, very respectfully, asked me to leave. To which I obliged. I didn't want to cause a scene. A few weeks later, my girlfriend and her sister are over it, but the mom still seems weird about it. I haven't spoken to her since. Was this an a-hole move, or was it just a lighthearted joke that was misinterpreted? Back when I used to do stand-up comedy over a decade ago, I once had a comedian tell me while we were talking, he said, "If nobody laughs at your joke, it wasn't a good joke." It's that simple. A good joke is about reading the room. Is it the kind of crowd that's going to like that stuff? Or do they enjoy this rare tradition that comes up only every so often, and as silly as it might be kind of important to them because it's all part of this special moment, maybe a moment they want pictures of so they can see, and they want to see who catches it. Oh, how fun. And I'm guessing this was maybe that kind of crowd and not the goofy, fun, let's be wacky wedding crowd. And you don't, like, your joke to like lighten the mood and everything. It's a wedding. The mood doesn't always need lightening unless things are weirdly tense, and even then, goofing up a part of the, whole like tradition might not be the way to break that tension. I don't know. Like, it's all very complicated. I'm sure you had good intentions, and I think I've even seen things where like people have like slapped the bouquet away from their significant other. Too much laughing, but you gotta know the room and you gotta be able to read it, and you clearly did neither. So it kind of sucks, and yeah, when you do something like that, and with, this may be that sister's only wedding, you may be a little bit of an a-hole for that, but I don't hold it against you. Boyfriend, 24 male, keeps leaving skid marks on sheets. My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 27, have been dating for about 9 months now. We started being intimately active about 6 months ago, which is why I'm confused as to why this is happening. It all started about 4 weeks ago. He took a shower and was about to leave my place, but asked me to give him head first. I put a towel under him first to not mess up the bed. He finished, and once he stood up, I realized that there were poop smudges on the towel. This grossed me out and confused me since he had just taken a shower, but I didn't tell him about it, just washed the towel afterward. Then he came over about 1.5 weeks ago, and there were tiny smudges on another towel, but I thought it was me since I was about to start my period. But then last night he came over. He told me he didn't shower before coming over, though he was outside at work all day. After intercourse, I went to use the bathroom, and when I came back to bed, he pointed out that there were a bunch of brown stains/brown dots all over the sheets. He thought it was from me and asked if I was in pain or if he hurt me. I said no, I just wiped and didn't see any blood. Plus there pussy stains were in spots I never was in. He got quiet and went to take a shower, and I changed the sheets. For the rest of the night, he was acting a bit strange, so I think he was embarrassed. I tried to act lighthearted and didn't bring up the issue again, but I think I should talk to him about it since this is the third time it's happened. Could it be a health issue? Okay, realistically, yes, it could potentially be a health issue. It might be worth broaching the subject if it ever comes up again, because as uncomfortable as it can be, you care about this person's health. However, I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying that this is that boyfriend doing it, but some guys out there, people in general, I'm sure there are ladies, non-binaries as well. Some of you folks out there, when you take a shower, you need to learn to wash your butt. And I think I've said this before on this channel, but I'll say it again because people ain't getting the message. You don't just polish the globes. You get in there a little bit. Now, you're not penetrating yourself or something, but you wash up in there for the love of... I have been around people in work situations where you could tell that they didn't properly clean their butt when they showered. And, oh, but I wiped it with toilet paper. Stop it. If you got poop on your hand, would you just wipe it with a paper towel and be like, all clean? No, you'd wash it with soap and water, just like you should do with your butt. Wash it. Just stop it. What, are you afraid that if you touch your butthole, it's gonna make you gay? Straight guys can like that too, you know. It's fine. Hey, maybe you want her to peg you. I don't know. We're heading way off topic, but clean your butt. My bridesmaid accepted her role in a way that hurt my heart. I asked 3 women to be my bridesmaids with a small gift. I asked each woman privately at their homes while visiting so it could be a heartfelt personal moment between us alone. One bridesmaid, I'll call A, is a kind-hearted woman I've known for more than half my life who's been with me through some serious ups and downs, including the death of a child. I have known I wanted her to be a part of my wedding party for many years. She even offered to host in her backyard when I was brainstorming budget venues. A doesn't have many close friends, but I'm not her only friend, and she's significantly older than I am, so she's talked to me about plenty of weddings she's attended before. I just assumed that she'd been a bridesmaid before since she has long-term childhood friends who are married. She's even talked about helping with setup for weddings, hence my assumption. But when I asked her to be my bridesmaid, she burst into tears and said, "You're so sweet. You don't have to make me your bridesmaid, though." Confused, I asked, "Why wouldn't I want you to be my bridesmaid?" And she said, "I've never been pretty enough to be a bridesmaid." I was flabbergasted. All her other friends asked for her help, both labor and money, but never allowed her to be in photos because she's overweight. Like straight up shooing her out of photos. I can't even imagine doing something like that to a person who's given so much of herself for me over the years. Who gives a crap what she looks like? I reassured her repeatedly that she is pretty, and I don't care about her weight. I care about her heart, and she's done more than enough to deserve a place beside me at my wedding, whether or not she hosts it in her backyard. But I feel sad and infuriated that what was supposed to be a moment of joy and excitement between us was dampened by a lifetime of others ruining her self-esteem. I feel like I'm going to lunge at her childhood friends next time I see them because I'm so peeved to find out how they treated her. She deserves better friends. All right, first off, the person who wrote this post, you're getting just all the thumbs up from me. You are my kick butt person of the week. And second, yeah, no, I would be furious too if I heard that other friends had her help out but didn't want her in pictures because she was overweight. What an awful thing to do, and immediately just tells me you're not real friends. Those people are not her real friends, because friends would never do that to someone. I know some people oh, but I want the pictures to be so idyllic and perfect. You know what's idyllic and perfect? Having your friends there, no matter what they look like, and not putting value on them based on how you perceive their bodies. What a disgusting thing for people to do, and I'm so happy that you're able to let her be a bridesmaid and let her know know that she has value as a person, no matter if she is as skinny as a rail or as thick as can be. Who cares? She's a wonderful person. She's your friend, and those other people can go eat rocks. Today, I effed up bringing a girl to guys' night. Obligatory things didn't happen today, but 2.5 years ago. I, then 23 male, matched with a girl 21, we'll call her A, on the infamous app. I planned on driving to go meet with her in a town about an hour away. This was okay because my boys and I, about 5 of us, planned on having dinner in that same town. I drive to pick up A and then go to lunch. We hit it off pretty good, the talking is easy, we're laughing and hitting it off okay, nothing crazy. Dinner comes around, I'm still in the town and we're still together. My boy texts me that they're all at the brewery waiting. I kinda screwed up obviously and texted him, hey, like, is it alright if A comes with us? At first they were like, oh, come on, man, but screw it, whatever. So I drove over to meet the guys to introduce A, and we started kicking off our guys' dinner. They are also hitting it off with A. All of us being military and being addicted to nicotine, I popped in an old nicotine pouch. She saw the other guys all take out the same nicotine brand and pop one in as well, and then asked if she could have one. So I was like, what the heck? I saw her vaping, but did warn her that these were stronger. She says, yep, that's fine. And I was like, whatever, I'm the sober one anyway, so if she wants to get a little buzz and head high, why not? The guys and I start joking, are cooking and joking, and their food gets there, they start eating. A little bit of time goes by when I notice A has gone to the bathroom about 3 times by now. Just being curious, I asked her if everything was okay. She said yes, but I saw that she was legitimately swaying on these little stool seats and could barely keep her bearings. Her eyes were pretty glossy and was visibly weak looking. So are you sure? Her response was, well, I'm diabetic, and if you didn't know, nicotine lowers your blood sugar, so she was getting this low blood sugar and needed to boost it. So I ran up and asked the bar if they had any grenadine or soda, and they didn't, which is stupid. But I asked if they had dessert, and I asked for some brownies, and I told my buddies, hey, I just ordered some food, it'll be here in 10 minutes. Oh, 45 minutes later, and still no brownies, and by this time A is struggling. My 2 buddies ran across the street to the 7-Eleven, grabbed as many candies as they could, and ran back and just dropped them on the table. She started popping in the candies, and she was better, but it was insane. Now, if you thought that was all, you'd be wrong. On the way home, we're getting to know each other, asking the typical 20 questions, and she hits me with the, I used to be in a cult in Canada, tee-hee. I was flabbergasted, but she continued and said, my parents pretty much arranged my marriage and when I was to have kids. A was still married and had 2 kids, but going through a divorce, her kids and husband were in California, and she was in the state I was in for the meantime. I was too close to home to turn around and drive her about an hour and 45 minutes back, so I just brought her home and then woke up the next morning and drove back. To London, read, I brought a diabetic woman with kids who used to be in a cult to guys' night and gave her nicotine, which lowered her blood sugar. First off, I wouldn't necessarily encourage bringing a first date to meet with your other friends unless she also has friends there. It's just kind of it kind of throws things off balance when it's you and your friends, and then one person who now desperately feels the need to fit in and will probably do stupid things to try to fit in. So I would say that's just general advice. It doesn't always have to pan out that way. Some people are going to be fine. Read the situation however you will, but that's my little bit of advice right there. Second, I mean, I don't know. There are things that I think that you need to disclose before going out with someone, and things you might not necessarily have to, like, shouldn't necessarily have to disclose if you were previously married, though she's still married. That's iffy. And having 2 kids, I've waffled on this in the past on this channel, and I apologize. It's not a situation I'm that familiar with, but I do think that you should probably disclose if you have kids before going out with someone, because you don't know where they're at with stuff. But a first date is about getting to know someone is the other thing. Like, you can't just tell everyone everything over text or whatnot. It's weird. I don't know where I land on this. I'm genuinely at a loss, and so Folks, comments, I really need to know what you think, and give me reasons why. Don't just be like, nah, she should never, or I don't know. Just give me some good reasons. I'm genuinely very curious. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.